Hi, my name is Kris and I'm speaking to you from sunny Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right, and I'm Allan Galang from Vancouver, Canada, and we're here today because we just want to chit-chat with you for a few minutes and share a little bit of information with you that we think is really, really crucial, really important, really can really help get you to that next stage in your home business and your network marketing program. And to help me do that, I actually invited Kris onto this call. So before we get started, Kris, thanks a lot, man, for being here and just sharing some of your insight with us.
Oh, no problem. Thanks so much for your time, Allan.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So if anything, let's kick this off. What is the topic that you want to discuss and educate your audience about today?
The main thing is I wanted to talk about what sort of traits, what sort of characteristics that you can find among the top network marketers. And I've been speaking to so many top performers within the industry, and they all say the same thing, that they basically have two traits that make them very, very successful in business.
Good stuff. Yeah, and that's important. Folks, if you're out there and you're looking for a home-based business, I'm sure you know by now that it's really important not just to get involved with a good company and a good product, although that's important too, but what's essentially really going to get you to that next level in your career, get money in your pocket, is the right kind of people who you can associate with that can teach you the kind of skills that you need to develop for yourself. So Kris, start us off. What is that set or that priority characteristic that all successful home business owners have that you want to discuss and tell people and have them aware about?
Yeah, definitely. The first characteristic that they have is having the very strong leadership qualities. They basically have the ability to inspire people to follow them and go a certain direction that's, to the benefit of all people. So definitely having those strong leadership skills where you can inspire and motivate people to just follow you wherever you go.
Gotcha.
That's a very key skill.
Gotcha. Yeah, leadership is really, really important. Now, obviously, you've got a good idea in terms of the terminology of leadership in this context. Some people will ask me, and maybe you can answer this, because I'm sure some people might be asking, what is the difference between, let's say, a manager at a job and a leader that's here in network marketing?
One of the key differences I noticed, because I had an opportunity to work both in the corporate sector and within a network marketing business,
right.
and I'm able to make that sort of distinction. What I noticed with managers within a corporation, they just basically give out orders and they sort of mention this is what you need to do without explaining why you need to do it in the first place. So they just basically give out tasks. Whereas a leader steps in, he or she steps into a group of people and says, this is where we're going to be headed over the next, few years. So 5 years from now, this is where we want to be. This is how we're going to go do it. And if we have your commitment, if you want to join me, follow along. And that's where you can sort of sense this magnetism and magic about them. It's really hard to explain it, but then when you see someone who has those leadership abilities, you'll get this feeling that, wow, I just need to follow this person. I just want to join, that person and be associated with him or her.
Yeah, it's really true. Like, they're just naturally attractive people because it's not just them that they're thinking about, but they're also, they've got that ability to be charming or to be friendly or just kind of make you feel good when you're around them. They kind of give you that feeling of hope, and obviously you recognize that, and that's probably why you decided to be here, because it's a lot easier to go and work for yourself and make money when you're surrounded by people who can inspire you to work harder instead of just forcing you to do something that maybe you don't even want to do.
Exactly. And then also that was one of the reasons why I joined the network marketing business. I mentioned this in my other video of why I got into network marketing. I had no idea what this industry was, but I've noticed that one of my good friends felt more positive and more enthusiastic, and I wanted to know why, what caused him to have all these changes. And then he told me to come to a meeting, and when I got to that meeting, I was just so impressed by the two people who gave the presentation, and I just thought, these are the type of people I want to associate with, and I want to, get to their level one of these days.
And obviously you can, because you've got the right personality for it. And if anything, I know there might be some people out there that might be looking at you right now and thinking, well, you know what, Kris, you sound like a really good guy, and you sound like you know exactly what you're talking about, and it sounds like you know what you want. But, yeah, for sure. There's a lot of people out there that aren't there yet. There's a lot of individuals that are kind of getting to that stage, and part of getting to that stage requires that they learn the aspects and the steps towards becoming a better and more effective leader. Based on your own experiences, Kris, and this is just in your honest opinion, if someone said, okay, Kris, I get it, I got to go and start learning some leadership skills, what would you recommend somebody to do in order to get the right information on how to train themselves to become a better leader?
The best way to get information is find somebody who you admire, someone who you think of as a leader, and ask them, what they did, to develop their leadership skills. And you have to be very careful about who you take your advice from. That's the one thing I learned, is you want to take advice from someone who is in the position that you want to be, and not just anybody. So I would recommend that you find that one person. And for example, the leader that I was inspired by, I asked him, what he did, to develop himself as a leader. And he told me that he spent a lot of his time on personal development. He spent time getting mentored by great people like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, who are very well recognized, not just within the network marketing industry, but in all industries in general. And I think once you learn about personal development, you read their books, attend as many webinars as possible, listen to audio CDs, and just pretty much immerse yourself with all that information. So it's sort of like you're getting brainwashed with very positive information. And I think once that sets into your mind, then that automatically shows, that sort of thing to other people, and that's where you start developing other traits like self-confidence, self-assurance, and developing your communication skills, which naturally follow, and these are the traits of what I think is a successful leader.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, you hit the head right on the nail right on the head, excuse me. Well, folks, you heard from the guy himself, from Kris. If you're really in that stage where you want to elevate your life, first thing you got to be able to do is elevate yourself mentally and emotionally. And nothing works better than listening to personal development trainers like Jim Rohn, like Brian Tracy, like all the greats, like Zig Ziglar, even Tony Robbins. I mean, those guys, they didn't get to their multi-gazillions because somebody handed it to them, and they weren't born with that information. They had to learn it and become the kind of people that they became in order to have that success in their life. The same goes with you and I. A lot of people are like, well, there must be a faster route. Well, technically, no, there's not, because in order for us to attract the right people in our lives to get that success, we essentially have to start becoming more attractive people. And not just by the way we look, but by the way we present ourselves, by the way we hold ourselves, by the kind of confidence that we have. And that's a good question to ask yourself. Compared to those leaders, where do you stand? And if you're honest with yourself, if you're brutally honest with yourself, and if you're saying, hey, I'm where I need to be, then you know what, you probably don't even need to listen to us. But on the flip side, if you're saying, well, I'm doing okay, but I could be better, and the moment you recognize that, then that's what opens the door for you to start emulating those other leaders. Because if you can do what they do, you can have what they have. And take a look at Kris. I mean, Kris, you've only been in the industry now for what, maybe a few months, right?
Yeah, just for about 2 months, and that's all I've been focused in the last 2 months, is just working on personal development. And the reason why I did this is I asked all of the top industry networkers what they did. I asked them, did you have to build up your recruitment skills, your sales skills, or other ones? And the one answer they gave me is just work on your personal development, because that will help you become a leader. And once you become that leader, people will naturally become attracted to you and want to follow you no matter what business you join. And the key thing I learned is, people join business with people. They don't join for a product or a specific opportunity. They want to join business because you are a leader and you inspire them, and you just want to follow them and get into that same position.
Yeah, exactly.